We're good.
We're good.
We're good.
Hi.
Hello. Okay.
We're here
doing the thing.
and we're doing the thing. I'm Dawn.
And I'm Kyle.
And we've been doing a marriage series of sorts. We decided to try a different spot. I don't know if this is going to be good. We are also doing a YouTube video right below this one. So we may look up and down.
Or
anyway,
we're really positive.
Or we're just really agreeing with everything we say.
So to start out, like we usually do, we are not marriage therapists, any type of certified counselors, anything like that. We're just a married couple. We've been married for 9 years.
We keep forgetting to say how long we've been
married. And we just want to share the things that we've learned and try and help people have better marriages as best as we can. Also, we have good news and bad news and worse news.
Well, the good news is today is the last and final part of Marriage Myths.
We made it!
I know if you've been watching this with us, there's been a lot, but we're finishing them all up today.
And the bad news is because we're finishing that up, we have, I think, 8 instead of 5.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to go longer than the 15, 17, 25 minutes that we
We're going to try to keep it as quick as possible, but we talk. So, and then the other bad news is next week.
Not bad news for us.
No, it's great news. We're going to Vegas for my Hempworks convention, and so we will be there on Sunday. We will not get back until almost midnight. So there will be no Marriage Live next week.
And I have to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't like that at all. So
I have to get up at 5 too. So anyway, if you've been following along, you have 2 weeks now to let us know what kind of topic you would like us to talk about in 2 weeks. Like if there's a specific marriage subject, let us know. And while we're talking, feel free to comment and
do the things and the stuff.
Do the things. Okay. So myth 16.
Myth 16. Marriage is a one-time thing. When we first saw this, because preparing for this, we, Googled a bunch of. That's the international sign for Google. Googled a bunch of different places for the myths, and we each had to read this at least once or twice to figure out
marriage
what
is a one-time thing. Well, yeah, it is. It should be, but it doesn't mean what you think it means.
Yeah, it doesn't mean
it means your relationship is going to change because people change.
The thing that struck me is the statement that we saw was marriage is not static. It is ever changing. It's continually evolving because you as humans are evolving. You're going to continue to grow and
Don't worry about it. Keep talking.
Okay. She likes when I talk a lot. Different seasons bring different challenges. So you're going to have to adjust and change with those things. So it shouldn't ever really be boring.
Yeah.
What else you got?
The 5 love languages.
Oh.
I mean, for example, okay, so if anybody has read the 5 love languages book, or taken the test. We've talked about this in, I think, one of our first videos, but and we might do a whole thing about it. So we won't go into detail about it, but if you want to Google it, they have a free test. And all that to say, in our first year together, we took it.
No.
Yeah.
Not our first year. Our first year was woo.
So what? We still took it. I remember
my.
Okay. Anyways,
yes.
Excuse us while we have a fight. Just kidding. Anyway, we took it, and our marriage love languages, our love languages were different.
Specific things. I think mine was.
I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll talk about that in another video. But 5 years later, we took it again, and both our love languages were completely different than what they were the first time.
That's to say that we probably either lacked. Supplying enough for those sections, or we just continued.
Jamie, you're going to Vegas?
So are we.
We're going to be there on Wednesday too.
Awesome.
Sorry.
Look us up.
I don't know why my
text. This is text. This is Google. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry.
the comments are showing up. I have to keep scrolling.
It's weird. I see it. The conditions in your marriage may change, but your commitment should not.
Yeah.
We should be willing. I said it in one of our other videos that initially we went to a marriage conference and I was all against it. Our marriage is good. We don't need this. We don't need the help. what I'm saying is you have to be a level of commitment where you're just gonna go for it. Just do things that throw you out of your comfort zone and make the relationship better. That's why listening to some of those or learning the 5 love languages helps, because you learn what your partner needs and you learn how to speak their language.
So
their love language.
We'll cover the love languages in another one. All that to say, it's not a one-time thing, because your relationship isn't a one-time thing. It's an everyday thing.
Ooh.
Boom.
Yeah.
Dropping knowledge.
You didn't write that down.
No,
nice
it just
job.
came to me, guys. Okay, myth 17. Who you choose to marry is the most important choice you will ever make.
Okay.
Choosing your spouse is extremely important, but choosing them every single day after the wedding is more important.
Yes. So think about like a shotgun wedding, right? I know none of the people here are watching that were involved in that, but if you were, or what about like the World War II marriages, where maybe they were just in lust with each other prior to whatever soldier going to war. When he came back, they had to make that work. They had to work at it every single day. Talk to, not work. They had to put effort into it every single day.
Marriage doesn't work, guys.
Talk to any married couple that's been married for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever. It's effort every single day, and you have to continually choose your partner every single day. Oh, that was mine. Like, no, it wasn't.
No, but
like,
it's good.
Like
he
a
likes
windshield.
Analogies.
Okay, so you're driving down the road, and a rock comes off that big old truck sitting in front of you, and it puts a chip in your windshield. And it's not really, it doesn't obstruct your view. It's still illegal, but it doesn't really hurt you. And you don't have the $100, $300, $500 to fix it. So what do? You let it wait. And as it waits, it gets colder, and now that crack gets bigger, and now you have a much worse problem. Okay? That's the same type of thing here. You have to choose to do the important things, even if they're small, so that it doesn't grow into something huge and destroy what you have. Huh? Yeah.
Dropping knowledge. Okay, my notes are over here this time. That's why we keep looking over here. Marriages don't fall apart because of one big compromise. They fall apart due to 1,000 small ones. So just remember that if you have some big thing going on right now and you're like, well, it's because of this. No, it's because of years of something, obviously.
The humongous fight you have about a plate of spaghetti is never ever about the spaghetti. It's about the 27 different things that you didn't do, or they didn't do, or you didn't listen to yourself in saying, hey, I should probably do this.
Yeah.
Do that.
So this myth is about that your spouse, words are hard, they're the most, my gosh, let me try that again, guys.
Start over.
Choosing your spouse is the most important decision you'll ever make. And the reason I'm saying that again is because now you want me to share my story.
You share what you want to share.
Well, for anybody who really knows me, gosh darn it, I don't know why it's not scrolling.
It'll be fine.
I want to see.
We see you. We know you're there. We appreciate you. We just might not be able to see what's going on.
We may not be able to see your comments for some reason. So in my first marriage, I didn't choose my spouse every day. It was right after the wedding I chose I didn't want to be with him anymore. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to share my whole story yet because I feel like we should just wait on that.
And that means you guys don't have to wait. Wait for the actual story.
Okay. Myth 18. You need affirmation that your marriage is on the right track.
So this is kind of true. I do want to know. I feel great when people have said to us before all of this that I really like your marriage. You guys look like you have fun. That's good affirmation. But there's also negative affirmation. There's also listening to the wrong people at the wrong times and getting the wrong advice. So be careful who you get your affirmation from or who you get your advice from. I said that, so we did it.
Your marriage is your marriage. You don't need someone to tell you if you're doing well or poorly.
And trust yourselves.
Yeah.
Like, talk to each other. Communication. We've said this every single week.
Yeah.
Communication is so key. If you're in a bad time, like we've hit stages where it's been that roommate phase. And Oh, now it's
now
gone.
I got rid of all the comments. I'm just messing it up.
We've hit stages where it's been in that roommate phase. And we've both looked at each other and said, hey, listen, we're in this spot right now. Do you feel that? Yes, I feel that. Okay, then we'll just work our way through it and we'll get back to the good stuff later on. Mm-hmm. That's okay. We're safe in the marriage. We're good to go. Don't worry about it. It's okay. The last piece, if you're listening to the wrong voices telling you where to turn, your marriage might end up on the wrong side of the road. Not like Britain, but like that one didn't work. That one was not as good.
Okay.
You'll be able to change your partner's annoying habits. This is probably one of my favorites. Because this is my story, kind of.
Okay.
When we first got together, I had been through relationships before and other things where people, I cannot be controlled. I don't want to be controlled. And I always felt like people were trying to change me, make me what they wanted, not what they had. So when we got together, I said, listen, here's the deal. I drink, I smoke, I gamble. All of those things will not change. If you can't love me for this and how that works, then, you know, because I'm not going to change.
And
I'm not going to change for you.
I accepted him with all of that because I was in a bad place myself. I was like, whatever, I do the same thing.
Game on, let's party.
But I know there were some things over time that started to bug me, and I did try to change him for a little while, and it caused some issues. And then I read Power of a Praying Wife, which kind of changed my life. I think I talked about that in another video. But it was, the first chapter was about like, focus on yourself, ask the Lord to change you, don't try to change your spouse, because then the Lord will work in you to work through him. And anyway, where was I going with that? I just learned to accept him as he is and didn't nag. First of all, ladies, stop nagging, because that never works. It will never work.
It will never work positively. It will work, but it won't end up. It will end up having your partner resent you.
Well, if your spouse is anything like this guy, it's just going to drive him farther away. Really?
Yep.
We have low network connection again.
We're fine.
Hey, if anybody is watching and anything goes on, like we lose volume again.
Sound.
Can you please, sound, volume. Please let us know, because last week we lost sound when that happened.
But it stayed on the YouTube. So move over to the YouTube and watch it there.
Oh, we haven't uploaded it yet.
Come on, get it later.
Do you want to say anything else?
There is, I like this. There is no I love you but.
But.
There, you don't get to have a but. I love you. I love you how you are. Yep. Stop it. No, it is I love you. Period. That's it. There is no other connotations. There's no other connections. What did you do? Where did this go?
Keep talking. I'm just checking that the video is still working.
I want to know what there's a word that I'm looking for and I can't get it. But anyway, yes, that's good. We did those.
Say this one.
Expecting a spouse to change just because they love you isn't about love. It's about manipulation. You cannot use your love or what they feel is your love as a weapon. You can never use love as a weapon. That's the same thing as I love you but I wish you would do this. No, I love you, and that's it. I love you. I don't know.
We're frozen on this one. I'm just trying to make sure we're up and running, guys, because I don't see. Honey, just let me.
Okay, do your things.
We're live right now. It's okay to be live. I know YouTube isn't live.
Yeah.
Just checking the volume here. Give us a second, please.
No, they don't let us go live.
There's no volume
on YouTube because we had to have a bunch of subscribers or something.
So
Danny just commented. What did Danny say? Danny? Yes, Danny. Yeah. And
Danny, can you tell if there's volume right now?
At that point, Danny, I was at a point in my life where I really didn't. It wasn't that I didn't care. It just I wasn't going to put up with anything other than exactly what I wanted. I wasn't just going to give up or give in. That's what happened.
I feel like we need to restart our live.
I think it'll work.
I need someone to tell me if there's...
Let's just continue, and then they can find it on the YouTube.
Gotta figure out why this keeps happening. I wonder if I should get off this Wi-Fi.
Yeah, try that.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, no, it's worse.
Well, no.
Wait. Oh, we're back.
Okay.
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
Anyway.
That was my song. Do you like it? Oops, sorry. Sorry, YouTube. I keep putting my hand in it. All right, myth 20. No, we've been on that one forever. We've given each other permission to hold each other accountable, which is different than forcing someone to do something they don't want to do or trying to make them what you want them to be.
And it's extremely frustrating to me because I will tell her, hey, one of my goals is this. I want to do this. And it's a thought that popped into my head for about 14 seconds. And I said it out loud. And then a week later, when I'm not doing the thing that I said I was going to do, she's like, hey, remember when you said you were going to
go on a diet, like, this whole month? And you're like,
she called me fat.
No, I'm saying an example.
Right. And that's what it is.
Damn video.
And I have to allow that. Oops. I have to be okay with that. I have to say, okay, that's right. You're right. I wanted you to hold me accountable. So here we are. You're not trying to change me. You're not trying to pressure me. You're not nagging me. You're just letting me know that what I said.
I really wish I know if our video was working.
It's working great.
Myth 20. You'll automatically know each other's thoughts. Obviously, we all know that's not true. If you think you're going to read each other's minds, you're crazy. I don't know if you have some magical power or what.
Half of you have met me. You don't want to know what's going on up here.
So I figured out very quickly that Kyle needs what we call honey-do lists.
Yeah.
I was like, in the very beginning.
I told you.
In the very beginning, I was like, why don't you ever like clean the kitchen or whatever? Put the dishes away.
Nobody wants to do the dishes.
Well, nobody does, but I do it.
I do that.
When I tell you
written
to.
Down on a list.
So there's a lot of arguing and stuff because one of my love languages is acts of service.
Yes.
And he was like not doing that. And I finally realized it's because he is a list person. I hate making them, but he needs them. So it's one of those like, it's okay. I just let that one go. Yes, I would love him to just do. See?
I know.
Stuck on the same time.
Work through it.
Hey. You keep talking.
I am talking. You took my notes away. Some of the part though with that is I have to remind myself that I've asked her to make me lists because sometimes I'll come home from work and there's a list there or something and I really don't want to do the things on the list. I don't want to feel like I need someone to tell me what to do. But I got to remember I asked for that. That was something I required of her. And that was the easy way to avoid all the fights where I don't have to try to read her mind. And sometimes I do get them right. I do them before she's thought about it. Or I've thought about it and then she says, hey honey, would you? And I'll be like, you ruined my surprise.
Give me 1 sec, guys. 14
seconds. What? I need the rest of it. Yeah. Okay, so we'll move on to myth 21. You'll always
split everything evenly. Even talking.
I know. Mm-hmm. No, you won't. One of the big ones that I thought about when we were talking about this is there's a big difference. How many couples have separate bank accounts and one joint account, or do they have just one joint account? This is similar. I mean, financially, that's something you're doing, but it doesn't mean everything is that way. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. I don't think. I see what you're saying. That the time doesn't
timer
change,
stopped.
So.
This was last week too. It stopped and then we lost volume.
Well, we're continuing. Go to YouTube.
I just texted Abby to see if it's working. Okay. Oh
yeah.
Don't have a marriage scoreboard. Okay, if you have one, someone's always going to lose, and you don't want to have a relationship like that where there's a winner and loser. Yeah, you already said the finances thing, but like you're gonna go through all these seasons of like one of you is really sick and can't do anything, and the other one has to pick up all the slack and do 100% or 90% or whatever, and you can't. Like it's gonna go vice versa.
Right.
Throughout the rest of your
What happens when one of the partners loses their job? I mean, are you just gonna leave then because it got difficult? No. You have to balance it out. You got to work with each other. We learned that what works for us, the financial stuff, is having pocket money. I got a couple of dollars over here that I get to do whatever I want with it. Same thing with her. I mean, within reason. But that allows us some freedom. And then we have a joint account that we both watch. That was one thing that I didn't do very well early, but we worked through it. We talked about it. She said, hey, I really need you to help with this stuff. I'm like, how do you want me to help? I don't know how to.
Yeah.
So
we ended up doing the Dave Ramsey financial thing.
Oh, we were just dropping all kinds of
love languages. Dave Ramsey,
praying wife,
Mark
Dave Ramsey.
Gungor. Okay, Abby says she can hear us. Good. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Abby. I appreciate you.
Sorry for everybody for obsessing about it, but this happened last week, so I don't know. All right, moving on. When marriage gets hard, divorce must be the answer. Now, obviously,
divorce sometimes is the answer.
Yeah, I've got some people in my life that I love very dearly that are going through a divorce right now. Sometimes you put all the effort in, and that is the only option. I have no judgment or condemnation towards you because I've been divorced myself, and it is, you know, it is what it is. But you want me to read this?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, this is so far away from me. Divorce is usually the best answer for people when a marriage becomes unhappy. The authors discovered, from whatever book, that the vast majority of bad marriages that don't end up in divorce eventually become good marriages. In a study of people in bad marriages who choose to stay together, 86% reported 5 years later that their marriage had turned around and were now happier. In fact, 60% said their marriages had become very happy. So, as we've said before, marriage takes effort.
Yes. And it's not to say that all divorces are bad or that you should stay together for the kids or for whatever other reason. If it's not a good situation, get out of the situation.
Yeah.
That's something that should not have to be said.
Yeah. So I asked my nephew if I was allowed to talk about him, and he said yes. So my nephew was young and got married at 19, and she was 18. 20. And I think they were married for a year. Basically, the wife figured out that it was hard and not the fairy tale that she had hoped it would be.
It wasn't just playing house.
It wasn't just playing house.
It was real life.
It was real life, and it was too hard for her, so she left. And he wanted to fight, and she did it. And now here we are, like, years later. It's like 2 years later?
At least, yeah.
He's moved on, he's happy, and she is still stuck wishing she didn't leave. All that to say, divorce is not always the answer. Yes, it might be for your situation. So again, we can't say yes or no. But the grass is not always greener on the other side.
Right.
What?
Nothing. I was just thinking of the last time when I said my grass is greener because I water it. But that's
the grass is greener where you
not a good look.
The grass is green where you water it. You guys have heard that. So are you watering your marriage?
Yeah.
I did it too. Okay. Myth 23. You should not go to bed angry.
Oh my goodness, I've heard this so much.
And I've always lived this way. I have always lived that you need to settle it. So this one kind of like, oh, actually, this is a really good one.
So she was always taught this. I have always heard it. Instead of hashing it out when your emotions are so high and now you're late at night and there's a million things going through your head, but you just want to sleep and you don't have complete control over what you're thinking, what you're saying, why would you want to continue that discussion? Just time out.
Yeah, you guys, like the phrase sleep on it, it really does work, okay? Sometimes you really do need to stop what you're doing and say, I love you, but I am too tired to have this conversation, and if I keep going, things are going to come out of my mouth that need to be put back, and I really am just going to sleep on it, and we'll talk tomorrow when we're both calm, and I love you.
And there's a possibility that when you sleep on it, you wake up in the morning, and you really figure out that, you know what, maybe we were too tired. Maybe there were other things going on. Maybe other things were going on in my head, and what we were actually fighting about really didn't matter.
Yeah.
Didn't make any sense. So the analogy that I had for this one, it's cutting the fuse on the dynamite. You get to snip it right off before that explosion happens. Don't say explosion.
Is it a bomb?
Don't say bomb. Don't.
He works for the government, guys.
So anyway. it is putting that pause before something really devastating happens that you can't fix. You can't take dynamite and put it back together and pretend like it didn't happen. So why don't you snip that fuse for a little bit? You can relight it if you need to.
Yeah. Well, guys, we did it.
We made it, and it's only 25 minutes, so that's
not terrible.
So bad.
So that is all the marriage myths. If you missed the first few, you can find them on YouTube or scroll our feeds. Hopefully the video from last week will work for you. It didn't work for us. I don't know.
And you should be able to, if you're finding it. We put the link up there last time.
Yeah,
we'll put it up there again. If you need to, Google it. Go YouTube Marriage with Dawn and Kyle.
Yes, we'll drop it in there. And then, like we said, we're not going to be around next Sunday. So if we're going to Vegas. So if you have any thoughts or, you want us to cover a certain topic when we get back, then let us know.
Let us know. And send all the positive thoughts and financial wonderment for
about
Vegas.
The video to him. You're talking about Vegas. Okay. Yeah. All right, guys. Have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you in a couple weeks. Bye.
Bye.